Welcome back, dweebs, to another episode in our review series. With me, as always, is my good friend Kev. Kev, busy day for you. You doing all right, bud?
I am wonderful. Yeah, been a very busy day over here, but that is all behind me. We are right where we're supposed to be, James, talking about one of my, maybe favorites, putting it a little too high on the list, but I do genuinely love me some Dr. Sleep, probably built on my lifetime love of The Shining, both the book and the movie, unlike the creator of the book and the creator of the movie, who absolutely hated each other. I found a way to enjoy both. So how are you, James? How are you feeling about this?
I am good. I am very excited to talk about this because, unlike Kev, I have not seen The Shining recently. It's been a long time. I would say, not going to say not. It's been a very long time since I've seen The Shining, and I don't remember anything. So now I immediately want to go back and watch it, and I have questions. Kev, I'm sure I've watched it at some point, but I pieced together a lot of it in the final 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But we did this on purpose because Kev is a deep diver of it and loves it, and I don't know shit. So I think this is going to work out great for us. So just getting that out there, that it's been a long while, if at all. If I've watched it, I can't remember. Some housekeeping items. Apologies for no content going up this week outside of Monday, because our boys' preview review is stuck in the YouTube hell and has a copyright claim on it at the moment. And I assume it's going to go up tomorrow. I assume they will not get to it in the 48 hours will pass, and that will go live tomorrow. Kev, nothing like blocking something going up that's promoting your upcoming final season of your show. Nothing like it. Nice job, YouTube. You did well there.
Absolutely, just incredible business on both ends. I'm sure the folks at Amazon Prime hate the additional free promotion that our little show was giving it. I mean, why would you put a trailer out there, James? What would the desire be behind a trailer? It's not like you want more people to watch it and discuss it.
No, that sounds terrible.
About the possibilities of what could come. That would be really bad. But I can't help but wonder, James, if we are not victims of our own long-awaited success. Because it was the first time that we had a crystal clear picture thanks to your wonderful new computer. So little did we know that choppy old choo-choo train that kept just chugging right along was actually
might have been saving our asses.
Copyright protector. Who'd have known? Who'd have thought? Joke is on us, gang.
It really is. And it's really something. I told Kev as I was rendering it, I was like, this is the best this has looked since we started, because I got a new computer running, and it may have cost us everything.
Run a little too good there, pal. A little too
good. I guess anytime we want to watch videos, I got to bring out the little engine that could, so she chugs along and chops it up, and it doesn't messes the sound up a little bit so it doesn't get flagged. And God, disappointing.
I'll just throw a VHS filter over all of them, and then that'll just be more fun for me, because I'll just pretend we're watching it on a VCR.
Right. Yeah, Harles, I have entered the realm of 3D. I literally, my computer is not even set up for work yet. I just pull it up and use it for streaming at the moment. It was great. It was awesome using it Monday to watch stuff because Kev could see it. But alas. Kev will be also joining. Kev's going to be joining by next week. There's a box sitting next to Kev with a computer in it.
Right here. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Although tonight should be the last night that I am on my
Yeah.
old rig for any live shows because I finally finished the 2+ hour
Yeah,
Benchmark
you
Pro
had some work
Wrestling
to do.
show that I've been working on for the last couple of weeks. Kind of hard to switch computers when hours
Mhm.
worth of footage is currently living in your old machine. So we are finally
Yeah.
finished there. I cannot wait to put The Shining on in the background as I get angry at this brand new computer that will, I'm sure, be just too difficult for my dumbass to set up.
Oh, that's funny. More housekeeping is that this very well could be our last live of 2025.
Ooh, that is
Some
correct.
weird timing. I am now busy next Wednesday, and then it's Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So this could be it. We don't know for sure yet. We may do another one on a different date, depending on schedules. Kev's got a big vacation coming up, and then it's just the holidays. So we will have a bunch of pre-recorded stuff that hopefully won't get banned into the ether. But unless
It's certainly the last Wednesday night. That much we can confirm. It is the
let's
last
confirm
Wednesday
that.
night live
Yes.
stream of
Yeah,
2025. We may be
let's
live
officially say
tomorrow for
that.
all
Yeah.
we know. But
Yeah.
yeah, this last Wednesday night until January
Oh,
when
that's
we will
right.
dive
We
back
outside
in.
chance we're live tomorrow. We haven't really discussed that. If we want to stream the Game Awards, we got approved on it, but we'll see.
Ooh, that's right.
Yeah, so last Wednesday night. All right, Kev. I don't know. How do we want to start this one? I suppose I'll just give my thoughts. The movie's really fucking good. It's really fucking good. Um, it is fucking good. And Ewan McGregor is fucking awesome, man. He's so good. He's
See,
awesome.
that was one of the reasons I felt confident when we were debating on what to do next, and you'd asked me for some suggestions.
Yeah.
One of the things that triggered it was I saw that on Netflix, Doctor Sleep was leaving at the end of the month, so I knew
Yeah, I
immediately,
saw that.
and well, I want to watch this. I'm going to go ahead and watch it. But knowing that how much you had appreciated Sinners, which not that these two are, I mean, it's
They're
apples to oranges, but there's some similarities between the True
I would
Knot
put them
and
in
the
the
Two
same
Vampires.
like realm of movies. Um, there's some thematic similarities in some of the way stuff goes about, and the horror elements are very similar. I would put them in the just the same pantheon area, however you want to say that specifically.
Yeah, like they have a similar vibe, and then on top of it,
Yeah.
I know how much you appreciate
Oh
Mr.
yeah. Give me
McGregor. So I was
Obi-Wan.
like, well,
Mhm.
at least he's gonna get Obi-Wan, a very good Obi-Wan role as well. So I
Okay.
love the movie as well. You heard it here. Sinners equals Doctor Sleep. There you go. Write it down. It's all renamed. It's just Sinners all the way down. That's how it is. Um, Agreed. I also enjoyed this to stay out of the spoiler section. One of the things that I do want to kind of bring up before we dive into all the details is the other thing that I liked about this is, with the exception of the final act of the movie, it really functions as its own entity. There are references to The Shining,
Mhm.
but it's not until the very end that you're hit with all of that Shining nostalgia at once, maybe a little too much, which I'm even surprised to say because of how much I love that original movie. I feel like it got a little too referential at the end, but we'll save that for later. I thought it was a very enjoyable ride. Well, enjoyable is a tough word. There's some really
Yeah,
brutal
we'll talk
stuff
about.
in here.
There's
Ooh,
one scene, man, that's really fucking hard to watch. Oh man.
I know the one
I
you're talking about because it worried me.
Yeah,
I was looking at
it's
my
man,
phone
it's
waiting for a
hard.
text from you being like, "Dude, why don't you tell me about the
Uh,
baseball kit
uh,
scene?" And I was like, "I just get through it.
it's
It'll be worth it."
first off, yes, as someone that's again, I don't know when the last time I watched The Shining, or if I have, it's up for debate and nobody will ever know. Um, I absolutely enjoyed this movie, even the ending where I was finally like bits and piecing some stuff together. But you can watch the whole thing without having any knowledge, and that was really good because I didn't have time to be like I need to. I told Kev I was like I'd really like to watch them both, but I don't have 5 hours to get them watched. Okay, let's just the baseball kid scene is one of the hardest scenes in a movie I've ever watched. In a movie or TV show. It's fucking brutal, man. And
Yeah.
oh, it hits. This can sound really weird. Like it hits too close to home, knowing like that kind of stuff happens.
And
And
it's too well acted. Yeah, I
it's
never thought
too
I'd say
well
that.
acted. It's too well. Like I thought when she said like she's like violence clears the steam or the shine or the steam, whatever they call it. I thought that was gonna be it. Oh no, man.
Nope. The fear is the seasoning. Just like Pennywise, right?
Yeah,
All that
it
Stephen King stuff kind of connects, doesn't it?
yeah. It fuck. That's a brutal. It's one of the hardest scenes I've ever had to watch. And I did like I paused it and I was like, I gotta breathe for a
Yeah.
second. You know, you're gonna
There are two real gut punches in this movie, especially if you are, as I imagine most are, sensitive to bad things happening to children in movies. And it's the baseball boy scene, and then the one where Danny finds out the fate of his romantic tryst and her son when he has that nightmare vision of the little
Oh
boy that he left behind.
yeah. Yeah.
And that was
Oh fuck.
equally brutal.
That one's nasty too.
I agree with you on that one, Harles. That's how I felt when about the dogs and the thing, how they know how to play it like that. What was his name? Jed, the dog that was acting as the thing dog. Spoiler alert. Maybe one of the best actors of all time, and that includes humans. Like not just the best dog actor. I truly believe that dog was an alien. I don't know how they did that. Huskies are very smart. Also, definitely going to do a thing review on this channel at some point.
Mm-hmm.
You can bet whatever you'd like on that because it will happen. So the baseball
Yeah.
boy scene is rough. I
I
think
forgot about that scene where you find out she overdose died, then the baby died, and nobody came to see her because they're used to the baby just crying all the time. Ooh,
kind of a
God.
bold choice too, right? Like especially for somebody in your situation, James, who doesn't have the
Yeah.
appreciation of the character of Danny Torrance that
Yep.
people who watch the original are like, "Oh, it's my boy Danny. I know what he's been through, so I
Yeah.
can give him a little
Pretty
grace as he's
eye-opening,
being
like,
the
oh
biggest piece
shit.
of shit in the entire world." But yeah, it was a bold move. We've knocked other movies for doing that, where it's like, "Oh, how am I supposed to root? This is my protagonist again, doing just
Mm-hmm.
these awful things." But I think they did a great job of Danny's redemption arc throughout the story. And the fact that it happens before he gets sober and all of that, I
I
think
like that they do
helps
that
with that.
quick too. I like that they don't drag that on for half a movie. His story of getting sober, like I really appreciate that. And we also knowing what little I know about The Shining, and then it's gonna be a weird reference, but we talked Monday on the Home Alone stream how you were talking about how you want a wild version where like the character's coming back from war as PTSD and then thinks he's the only one that can save it. Like it reminds me of this. Like it's very out of left field. It's somebody that doesn't know anything, and then I have to piece it all together. Like he's a major alcoholic. His life has fallen apart. He's trying to now. I know he was like burying these powers he had. So I kind of like connected the two. I was like, it's a great way to start it, but it's a very risky way. Obviously, the book came out, so people they're not the same. I've done a little
Ha,
research, not a ton. That there's a lot of
of
debate
course.
between them. But so people knew, but like that's if you're only a movie person to see little kid Danny who survives all the hell and shit of the hotel to then you see grown up version and he's just a fucking doped out fucking drunkie getting in bar fights, stealing money and leaving people to die.
Yeah, it was a difficult decision, I'm sure. It worked for me on a few different levels, and I think we're getting close to the part where we start to chop this whole thing up in full on spoilers from here on out. But
Yeah, let's
you mentioned something that I want to hit on now again, just for folks who either haven't watched this in a long time, or some maybe you just like the vibe and you're hanging out with us. You haven't watched it yet. the thing that I appreciate this the most, what I appreciate about this the most is Mike Flanagan, the director, incredible. There's a few other movies that he's done that hopefully we will
Okay,
hit.
so I would like to discuss him real quick, just because he did a TV show that's fucking fantastic. So I didn't know I didn't recognize the name until I looked it up afterwards. He directed The Haunting of Hill House.
Yes, that's right.
He was a part of that. So, which fucking fantastic show also. If I remember it, another ghost story type deal. So I was like, that's a great fucking hire.
Yeah, that's kind of his shtick. You know, you got stuff like, I even just had to
Yeah.
pull it up. You got Midnight Mass, The Haunting of Bly Manor, Gerald's Game. So he's also been familiar with Stephen King. I think that helped. What are some other things? Oculus. And this will be the guy behind Clayface, which I think I had forgotten at some point. So this makes me way more excited about Clayface than I already am. Go check the video. That one's been out for a while. But to talk about this movie specifically and Mike Flanagan's role in it, you mentioned the book being different from the movie, which of course it is, because the original movie is vastly different from the source material. So things like in the book, Halloran lives. So, of course, in the book of Dr. Sleep, it's a living, breathing Halloran that talks to Danny. Whereas in the movie,
is that the black guy that he talks to?
yeah, that's the guy that
Okay.
that gave him the moniker. Well, I guess no, his parents called him Doc, but he also calls him Doc. And so there are things like that that change in the book. The Overlook was destroyed, and so it happens at like a campground where the Overlook used to be. And what was so cool about this is he being Mike Flanagan, took these two kind of disjointed IPs that share the same title, and he found a way to weave what the original ending of The Shining, the book, was, and he changed the ending to the book of Dr. Sleep in a way that it fits what Stephen King's initial intention was behind the original story. So it's this really cool conversion, I guess. This real, like, it blends the two worlds in such a way that I really appreciate, and it's how he was able to get Stephen King to sign off. And I think I kind of chuckled at that earlier when you mentioned it being different. Stephen King has a long
Stephen King
history.
does not like the movie The Shining, correct?
He doesn't like most movies based on his work, but
Also
correct.
true, yeah.
That one is the one that he hates, and so much to the point that he made his own made-for-TV miniseries that is more book accurate, but not a lot of fun to watch, if I say so myself. Maybe we'll revisit it someday. But I thought it was very cool. We'll get into those details when we start to talk about the ending. But for me, that was sort of my favorite part, was that he took these two things that are both incredible on their own and found a way to blend them together in what I felt was a very satisfying way to wrap up those stories, even despite the fact that I thought it got a little too referential at the end. But it was very like minor nitpicky stuff. When every once in a while I still get turned around in the labyrinth of my own mind. I got my own hedge maze up here, and sometimes I wind up in the curmudgeon corner. I can't help it. Every once in a while, I'm like, I don't need another great party, isn't it? Reference. You did that reference an hour ago. I still remember when you did it an hour ago. All right, Duffer Brothers. All right, I can remember things for more than 40 minutes. But that being said, I thought it was a nice touch to do that and kind of reconcile those things. We'll talk about what that is. Although we're in spoiler territories, I don't want to jump right to the end of the story. I think it's easier, if anything, I guess, James, where we should start is a little brief recap of The Shining, right? For those who, like you, maybe haven't watched it in a long time. Jack Torrance, a failed writer turned professor.
Jack Nicholson, correct?
Yes, played by Jack Nicholson in his most self-referential role possibly of all time. I don't know, maybe The Departed felt like it was just Jack being Jack. Actually, he's probably on the Mount Rushmore of dudes who got hired just to be themselves and get paid. You know, he's up there with Will Smith and Mark Wahlberg of, okay, just do you. You are the character.
Mhm.
Let me see what's it say. Stephen King's writing can get like that too. Just a lot of nudging and pretty cool. See what I did? Yeah. You like that?
I've never read a Stephen King novel, so maybe I need to.
Yeah, just tread carefully. It depends on if you're reading pre or during the alcohol and cocaine era of Stephen King. It can get a little weird. I will say
Sounds like that's what I want to read.
proceed with caution when reading it. Um, it goes into something I'm certainly not going to talk about in a live stream, but it can get a little weird. But I do love The Shining, and it is much different than the book. But as we were saying, so Jack Torrance takes his wife Wendy and his young son Danny up to the Overlook Hotel because they're up in the snowy mountains of Colorado,
The
and
Stanley Hotel.
they need a groundskeeper throughout the winter, basically just to keep the furnace running, make sure, like they tell you to do, if it gets below freeze, you got to let the water run a little bit so the pipes don't freeze.
Yeah.
He's just supposed to do that basic stuff, right? And he takes the job because he's going to spend that time writing. He's going to write his great novel, and they get there, and wouldn't you know it, the entire hotel is haunted, and Danny has the Shining, which allows him to see and speak to ghosts. But unfortunately, his father also has the Shining, just isn't quite aware of it. And the Shining feeds, or the Overlook feeds off of the energy of folks that shine like that, much like some characters we'll meet in Dr. Sleep called the True Knot. And so it turns Jack crazy. And essentially Danny and Wendy have to take down the patriarch of the family, and that pretty much ends the Overlook. Jack dies out there. In the book, he does come to his senses at the very end and saves his family. He does the worthy self-sacrifice thing, and in the movie, Danny and Wendy just trick him, and he freezes outside. I'm sure you've all seen that still image used before, even if you haven't seen the movie, of Jack out there.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yep.
Got it.
And so that about catches us up, right? And so Dr. Sleep starts really in that same time frame. That was one of the coolest things for me, how it's was showing us how all of this was going on at the same time. Although it does bring up a continuity issue that I will probably ask you about, James, here briefly. But we see that the True Knot were around in the 80s. They grab a young girl named Violet and eat her steam.
No idea what they were doing. Man, I was confused.
Yeah. So and so we meet the True Knot there in the 80s. Then we have some flashback stuff with Danny where it's after the Overlook, but the ghosts have followed him home, and his mom won't look him in the eye, stuff like that. She's very scared of him. And I did like the pacing of this early on. So they show us a little bit of that Overlook time, establish these guys have been around. We will find out they've been around for centuries, much like our wonderful Sinners vampires. There's one point for it's the same. No, I'm just kidding. It's not the same. But so we get into all of that, and then we start to catch up with adult Danny, who is much like his dad now, an alcoholic
and a druggie.
Yeah, he's doing coke too, man. He
ain't fucking around.
He's a real self-insert for Mr. King on this one.
Giving the kid Cheez-Its while his mom's dead on the fucking bed.
Oh, yes. That was brutal. So we've mentioned it before, but yes, when we first see Danny, he's hungover, wakes up, and there's a bit of a jump scare, especially after you've been introduced to Mrs. Massey and you see the old dead lady in the tub, and he rolls over and she looks kind of gross, and there's vomit everywhere, and he's about to leave. He goes to take her money when he realizes all of his is gone, and then he sees just a little tyke holding some Cheez-Its. And in one of the worst things I've ever seen, he actually takes that poor kid and sits him next to his
They really
still
hammer home how big of a
passed
piece of
out.
shit he
Mom.
is.
So much so that Dick Halloran shows up as a ghost and tells
It's like,
him,
hey,
"Don't. At least you could do is leave the money." Now, this is where your good friend Kev has done his additional research. I don't know if you guys have ever watched the director's cut of this movie. It is worth watching. Most director's cuts are real. Pardon the phrasing here, but I feel like they're kind of masturbatory, where it's like, "Oh, I'm the director and the studio made me cut this, but it's part of my vision." And in this case, 90% of the stuff from the director's cut, I think actually does add to the movie. It feels like a lot of it was cut for time, and a lot of
'cause
the
it's long.
additions
It's a
are
long
just,
movie.
yeah, they're just sort of like certain shots are hung on to longer, and there's a few little extra bits of dialogue that I think just add to it. And one of those decisions in the director's cut is they don't leave it up to the imagination at all. Danny pockets that money as he walks out, and he uses it to buy the bus ticket to go as far as he can go. So they do not leave
I think they should have
that
left
stone
that in.
unturned. It is very much locked in that he stole that money.
Should have left that. Like, let's hammer down on the fact that he's just a shitbag.
Oh, let's see. I want to see a little tangent to the comment section real quick. One of the worst offenders is Tommy knockers. There are like 4 or 5 different times one main character sees a last glimpse of the protagonist before she assimilates fully. A poor editor is probably doing all he could, which is interesting. Also, kind of similarly, one of the, I think, points of a little tip of the cap for Mike Flanagan is the way they describe cycling in the book is not something that when you read it, you're like certain that's going to translate well on into film. What did you think about that? The effects of when the True Knot, when they do go, I thought it was
I liked it.
pretty.
I liked it. The old man was dying and he's like flickering in and out, and they do a good job of showing different versions of them before they, and like specifically him, like he's scared shitless because he's lived forever. He grew up. They've been feeding on fucking poor little kids with shine for their whole fucking life. Little fucking pricks.
Little bastards, man. And so yeah, that I thought was another good touch as we talk about some of the ways he was able to corral this story and put it onto film. So yeah, we have Dan deciding to get sober, and he meets Billy. Billy is a real MVP, right? One of the best
Yeah,
characters, dude.
Billy's awesome.
Oh, and
And
we can't
his
have nice things in this movie, by the way. We
yeah,
cannot have nice things, so do not get used to them. Poor Billy.
no nice things are allowed. That fucking bitch. God damn it.
Oh, which remind I kind of put the cart before the
Ah,
horse. The bitch he is referring to is Snakebite Andy. These characters all have incredible names. All right,
yeah,
Rose the Hat, Snakebite Andy,
the crow.
a crow, not that crow.
No,
Although there's a mashup, huh? There's some
don't.
fanfic
Kev,
I could get
why'd
behind.
you copyright this? Get this off the internet.
Could it be worse than the Skarsgård crow we got? No. All right. I'm going to stop you before you type. No, it could not get worse than that ever. It could never get worse than that. Give me Rose the Hat meeting the real crow, and I will buy that ticket. I'll buy a matinee and go watch it again in prime time. But yeah, Snakebite Andy, a character that kind of maybe throws you for a loop because the way she's introduced, what she's doing, she's a 15-year-old
Yeah,
meeting
it's
up
good.
with the kind of folks that Chris Hansen would ask to have a seat.
Yep.
And she uses her powers of persuasion, much like Gen V. Give me some Gen V flashbacks there. And so she convinces these guys or whatever, the power of persuasion, puts them to sleep, steals their money, and leaves a little snake bite because she's a
Yeah.
lot like Lieutenant Aldo Raines. She doesn't want those monsters to be able to hide. So she says,
And every
"You
time
might be
they
able
see
to
it in the mirror,
explain."
they have to say something, or it's
They have to explain it to the wife. How'd you get that snake bite? And so I thought, I remember upon a first encounter, you're thinking like maybe maybe this will be, because it's sort of the fish out of water character. She's the way the audience gets introduced to the True Knot, and she's just a teenager. They capture her, they trick her into it. You think, oh, maybe she'll be a character that has a change of heart or something. Oh no, absolutely not. By the time they get to the present day, she may be one of the worst ones.
She's awful. Yeah.
And it's just a great character to hate, someone you love to hate, even spiteful to the very end. Her dying breath is used to take out a legend, to take out a goat.
God, she's a bitch. Fuck,
I love that comment. If I was Snake by Andy, you would never convince me to talk in first person.
No, I agree.
You know, honestly, I'm just a little disappointed that I never started calling myself Kev the Hat. You know, name the number of times you've seen my bald head. That really, I could have stolen that.
Not very often. Yeah, see, you could have such a cool name. Yeah, their names are awesome. Man, their introduction is great when they get Violet. Yeah, so let's discuss the True Knot. I had to look up their name afterwards. Nothing at all in the movie. Is there any hints of these guys in the first book?
No.
Okay. Which,
unless I missed it, it's been a minute since I've read the book. To be fair,
yeah, I wouldn't think so. It's in the hotel, so I would assume not. I do like from my understanding of The Shining, is it's more horror movie inside the hotel. How this one flips it completely and is completely outside, and it's a different type of movie entirely. And I think they are great antagonists. As horrible as they are great. They're great. They're well acted. Then the main two, the Hat and the Crow, those actors are awesome. They're fucking
phenomenal, dude. You could just sit there and listen to those two deliver lines. At least I could.
Yeah, they're so good. Fucked up, but so good.
Yeah, just the way they do everything. They're so compelling. They really command the screen when they're on it. And I do think a good villain too. And again, I'm just going to mention some of these because Sinners is so fresh in our mind. That what really drew the comparison for me was that they lived forever, much like our vampires. But the way and there's a line, I think this is in the director's cut again, where I think it's Snakebite Andy asked Rose, "Is that guy your friend?" And she said, "No, that's my family." And there is that moment, spoiler alert, when some of the True Knot go down, and it's a very real anguish. Like Rose is a despicable, evil, heinous person, but it's still a tight-knit family. Like they really do care about each other. And I think just having those little layers to a villain make them better, right? They're not just pure evil, just spouting off cheesy one-liners. Like
there's a little bit of hive mind-ish to them, right? I don't think like they share memories and stuff, but like the pain when they're getting shot, they all feel it, is what I noticed. Or she feels it specifically.
At least Rose feels it. Yeah.
Rose feels it. Maybe it's just her, but yeah, Rose feels it, yes.
And their introduction was incredible, as well as I thought the Abra introduction was handled pretty well. That is one of the I mentioned before that most of the director's cut scenes are an addition. Where they were right in the theatrical cut, I think they spent a little more time with Abra's sort of the reveal that she is special, because before the birthday party there's a scene where she's playing the piano with her parents, and that's nice because you get a little more time with the parents and you get to see that they are a loving couple and good parents, which just would have made future events hit a little harder. But they take Abra up to bed, and then they get spooked because while she's laying in bed, she's actually still playing the piano. So she's like using her shining powers. They go down there, and it looks like one of those automatic playing pianos. So those were things that it wasn't necessary, because you see her powers in the birthday
scene. Is awesome.
That was a little repetitive, and the spoon scene I think was much more effective.
The little kid being like, "Oh, I can do magic." Also, like, fuck that magician. He's a douchebag. Like, he's a piece of shit.
You're
being nice to the birthday girl, prick.
That's her damn birthday. He's like, "Cool, kid." Could you
You're
imagine?
not getting a tip, you fucking idiot.
It's like,
Dumb
what in
fuck.
the what in the John Wayne Gacy is this guy doing? You know, I was just trying to name of the
Moron.
worst child birthday person you could hire,
Yeah.
other than this dipshit magician. Tell him Snakebite
Yeah.
sent you. That is good. That is good. Um,
So the dad, the scene where his daughter later asks how his novel going is just a direct Easter egg callback then to The Shining that I didn't get because obviously I just don't remember any of it or haven't watched it. We're not sure. We don't know which one it is. But so that's a callback to Torrance's dad, whatever the fuck his name is.
that's a good call out. You know what? That is one that I kind of missed out on during the like that was one of the references that it didn't go. Oh, yep. That's probably was a Jack Torrance reference.
Jack Torrance, yes, yeah. I was gonna say that, but I'm like, no, it's Jack Nicholson. You're merging together, you dingus.
But yeah, in the book, I think Abra has like a premonition when she's 2 about 9/11 or something like that. Like it gets wild. I really want to go back and read the book now.
Just get the direct comparison to it.
And yeah, while a lot of this stuff is fresh, but they have her established. We get Danny, Dan. I love the character of Billy.
He's
I think
awesome.
that is so
Billy's awesome.
very
Billy's
accurate too. Now I have never been in the program, but I think probably a lot of people know at least somebody who's been in the program, and I did think that that was a great representation of what that would be like and how Dan's like, why are you helping me? You don't know me. And Billy says, well, I know the look. And then as soon as I feel like as soon as he said that, it's like, okay, this guy's going to be his sponsor, right? Did you pick up on that right away?
Yeah. After I kind of figured out that wasn't some more fucking shenanigans going on. And then Ewan McGregor's speech when he's talking about the 8 years of sobriety hits pretty hard too. Like, again, I've never dealt with anything, but I'm sure there's people that watch that and we're like, fuck.
Yeah, man. And it was a good way.
I didn't really, again, don't remember. So I was like, it still hit home,
Right. Yeah. And it was a good representation of Jack. And if you don't know what's coming in the final act, you might at that point be like, okay, well, at least we get some of the memory of Jack Torrance, but we get more than just that. That's another moment in the director's cut that I think was it worked either way, but that scene is longer in the director's cut. He goes into so in the book and in the movie, the reason for Jack forcing himself to get sober is because when Danny's young, he runs into his office and throws a bunch of papers around, and Jack, like I'm sure many an angry parent has done before, grabs him, but he grabs him a little too hard, and he actually breaks Danny's arm in a bit of a drunken rage. So not that second, I know I said I know some, every parent's probably been mad at their kid before.
Not
but
that
when
far.
when you're a drunk and have lost the ability to control your impulses, you might accidentally snap a 5-year-old's arm, and that's what triggers him to want to stop drinking. And ultimately, that's what this whole thing is. That's why I love the AA part of it. Is if you know Stephen King's backstory, you know very much that The Overlook is it's talking about substance abuse. It's the whole thing is about addiction and stuff like that. So for Jack, who ultimately fails, he succumbs to his addiction when he goes into the gold room. That's something, James, that you've seen now in Dr. Sleep. He does go back to that bar, but that's like the beginning of the end for Jack when he sits down, talks to Lloyd, and decides to have that drink. Even though it was all in his mind or whatever. But that is sort of where the father failed, the son does defeat his demon. And that's where at the end, that's why I love the ending so much, because you do get all of the things that the book, if you like the book ending, you get it in this movie in a few different ways. You just essentially get it through Danny instead of Jack.
The Shining book ending is used as Dr. Sleep's movie ending is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, essentially. So in the book, a possessed Jack does chase Danny around the house.
Yeah.
And then he big spoiler alert if you're still here and don't want to go watch the ending and come back. But in the book, it's Jack that burns the place down in the boiler room to
Yeah.
save his family. So now you get it, but just with good old Dano. So that is again what like my favorite part. Like that was the cherry on top. If you enjoy the 2-hour
He
ride
merged it a
and
little
you're a
bit.
fan
Yeah.
of it, you're like, all right, some of this member berries, some of these overlooked member berries were a little out of season for me, but you brought me back by the end, damn it.
Yeah. Okay. So give me, okay. Now as somebody that doesn't remember shit on shit, let's discuss here. So the Overlook Hotel is haunted. And so explain all the like so all the people he sees and stuff are characters from the first movie that get haunted and then turned, right?
What do you mean by turned?
Well, like Jack Nicholson tries to kill his own son, like gets possessed.
Oh, potentially. I don't know that it gets that specific. That absolutely does happen. So
Okay.
in The Shining, when you see the two girls that come play with us,
Yep.
the twins, the whole story that you're told at the beginning when he's in Ulrich's office is about, well, the last housekeeper here, Grady, went crazy and murdered his wife and children with an axe. So there is absolutely that where
Mhm.
somebody showed up and the place turned it on them. But I don't know that every ghost in the Overlook is
Okay.
somebody who went through what Jack
So
Torrance went through. But
got it.
yes, they're all spirits that were haunting that particular place. And for whatever reason, Danny and Abra, as we will find out, are powerful enough in the shine that somehow, some way, those spirits were able to cling on to them and
That's what
follow
I
them
was
long after they've left the Overlook.
yeah, I was wondering how they survived. How those like if there was any explanation on why those demons or whatever the fuck they are were able to survive in Danny's in his brain, essentially locked up in little boxes, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, he locks them up in those little boxes. Completely random here, but one of my favorite scenes is when he thinks Halloran is like a bad ghost. And
Oh
he
yeah, and
like
he
gets one of the
bouts.
boxes ready. He's like, "Oh, hold on, doc."
Yeah, he's like, oh shit. When the cat, like, that room's not occupied. We're like, oh, we know where this is going. Something bad's
Oh,
going
the
on. Oh,
cat, dude. I love the cat. But can we okay, we're sitting in the
just right.
curmudgeon corner here for a second, gang. Let's go. What up, Derpy? Good to see you in the chat.
What up?
Who in their right mind that owns, runs, or even works at a hospice facility would name their cat Azrael? Like, I know that it's like, it's, oh, I get it. You name the cat after the angel of death and it can sniff out death. But like, what, when you know
Do we?
what your job is,
Yeah, this is the end
why
for
would
all of
you be
them.
like, hey, we're going to name our cat after your unavoidable demise, your impending doom, you know? Just like might as well name the cat Mort, Jesus
Right.
Christ. That one always makes me laugh.
Little on the head. But okay, so I was just wondering if there was a little bit of explanation I was missing there, and I guess it's kind of open for interpretation why they are still clinging there, and then when they go back there, they manifest themselves.
Well, he lets them out
Oh
when
yeah,
they
he
go
opens
back.
the boxes and then there. That's right, because that's right.
Yep. Dude, that was the only disappointment to that for me, James, is that Rose the Hat was such a badass villain that it almost felt like she went down too
Cheap,
easily.
like she would have been able to fight them, and then there should have been more to it.
Like we're talking about a collection of ghosts that were unable to kill a 5-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Granted, he's powerful, but again, the movie shows us that she was also very powerful at that exact
Yes.
same time. So there are two things with the Overlook that actually create some minor complaints from me. I just said one of them. Like, how does she not put up
How does
any
she
fight
not?
against those
Yeah,
ghosts?
yeah. That I do
But
agree with
more
that.
importantly, how do they not know about the Overlook, but how did they not sense Danny if he was doing all this crazy stuff? I get it. She says, "How did we miss you?" And as an adult, we know how they missed him. He was drunk the whole time. He was
Yeah.
dampening his powers by getting drunk. But they were active and looking for
Yeah.
special children at the exact time that shit was happening. So how did
I
that
I
fly under
guess
the radar?
that's an awesome scene where she's like, "How the fuck did we miss you?" You know, like she's like that whole scene where she's like, "How did we miss you?" Da, da, da. Like that was she does such a good job acting that. I guess in my head canon, I blame it on no, not blame it, but it's the hotel that hides it.
That'll work.
That
I'll
the
accept that.
hotel once like the hotel feeds off these kids with the shine too, right? So that unless you are inside, you wouldn't know it because they essentially acts as its own blockade and stops the rest of the world from feeling it. Is kind of my like assumption without seeing the first movie, right? Because you're right, like they should be able to be like, well, they should have felt Danny when he was a kid. But if the hotel blocked it, and then when he got out, he was locking these things away and then trying to hide. Unlike Abra, he is hiding his powers. I'm like, that makes a little sense. He's not out hitting home runs like the baseball kid.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I'm a big fan of head cannons around here,
That's my
so
head canon on
I
that
I
type thing.
appreciate that. But yeah, you struck that nerve with me where I'm like, yeah, they found a kid in Iowa who was using his powers to
Yeah.
cheat in baseball, but they don't find the little kid that's got the whole damn Overlook eating
Yeah, locked in
itself
his
over
head.
how powerful he is. Like, what is going on, dude? You guys
Yeah.
should be able to find him.
The book ending's got to be kind of goofy then, right? Like if they went to a campground where the hotel was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's definitely not the same.
Yeah, explain that a little bit to me how that works. Because is it still Rose coming to get him and they go to the campground where it was?
Yeah, it takes place in a campground that was built on the grounds of the Overlook. Because again, in the end of The
Yeah.
Shining, the Overlook gets burnt down, so it is
Yeah,
not
Jack burns
there.
it down.
I have to pull it up because just for some
It's
references
just in my
here.
head. I'm just like, because he goes there, and part of the fun of that is he's like, you have to stay outside till she shows up. I have to go awaken this. I gotta go wake it up.
Oh, dude, that's right. Okay. So yeah, they go to the campground that's on the site. Big spoilers here for this because again, it's much different. Case in point, almost sort of like poetry in that they rhyme. So Danny lives in the book. He is helped. So yeah, they fight just on the campgrounds,
Yeah.
but they're also visited by the spirits. Like Jack Torrance as a ghost helps, and he gets some redemption that way.
Okay.
Billy is there as a ghost, and I think it ends where he's like still part of Abra's life. I think it ends at like on her birthday party or something like that. So
So
it's
he doesn't
a little
die.
bit happier of an ending. Yes, but I much prefer the movie's ending. But again, that's just because of these
They also had to
very
match it
special
up too.
circumstances that match it up to
Yeah, yeah.
both versions of The Shining.
I think I'd have to read it to really understand. I think I prefer the movie ending. I think going back, and it is a little on the nose, like you said, a little, and I haven't even seen it. It's really on the nose with all the callbacks and stuff. What up, Kang? We are deep down this right now.
Hey, I'm
So
glad that you were late actually, because then you don't know how late we were to getting started. So
absolutely correct. Yes.
cheers.
Kev was busy. It was all good. It happens. I've made us late plenty of times. Ain't no worries. Um, I feel like the fight in a campground would be. I don't know if I liked it. I don't know if I would have liked um, Jack and Billy showing up in the movie.
And she doesn't get ripped apart by the ghosts or anything either. Like I think they
Oh,
just
so
physically
book was
kill
way
her.
better.
book was way better. Okay.
Interesting. Interesting. I
Okay.
don't like the ending of the book. It's like I've never read the book, so let me clarify this. I don't like what I've been told of the campground ending. I think the movie ending is better. And it works better, like with a little redemption of fixing Jack Nicholson freezing to death.
Yes,
Okay,
the
so it
ending is
says the
better
ending is
like The
better. Okay,
Mist.
okay, okay.
Ooh. Oh, man. We might just have to do like a whole run of Stephen King adaptation, James, because I agree with that. So I think even Stephen King agrees with that. I think he has said that he wishes he had had that same ending for The Mist. It
Oh,
Oh
really?
my god, dude, oh, it punches you square in the gut and just takes all the air out of your lungs, but my god, it is good. And you wanna know what? You wanna know what? You know who decorated that? You know who directed The Mist? Who's my favorite bald director that I will take every opportunity to praise, James? It was
Uh,
Frank Darabont.
I was gonna say it's terrible. I was like, what's his name? What's his name? Kang says
Woo!
the novel. She likes the novel ending
Oh,
better.
you like the ending better. Okay.
Interesting. I've never read. I am just going off of a fight at the campground. Sounds real stupid compared to the ending of this movie. That's my thoughts. Stephen King had crazy ending envy at the movie.
So
Oops.
good. In the Mist. Man. Now I'm thinking about The Mist.
Listen, we'll
God,
add it.
it's
We
so
can add
good.
them to the list. There's very few opportunities left in December for us to do it, but there will be. January's right around the corner. Um, what else?
Man, pull my notes back up here.
I'm just thinking. I'm just going through my head of all the scenes at the hotel, the Stanley Hotel. Um, I do
Which
like.
they rebuilt that whole thing. I'll just say that before you go into those scenes that you like. He had to. Mike Flanagan described it as like walking into a dream. They used some of Kubrick's original blueprints and they
Mhm.
rebuilt like so almost well everything you see from The Shining, with the exception of a couple of random shots, which I honestly can't remember. But somebody who did the research pointed it out. There are a couple of reused shots, but for the most part, completely rebuilt that. They did have to digitally do the blood scene. They weren't able to recreate it the way Kubrick did it the first time.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah. I thought that was a fun scene because Rose like looks at it and just think like you can tell she's like she thinks Abra's doing it and just kind of brushes it off. I'm like, oh, she ain't got a fucking clue what this place is. Like that was a
right,
cool
yeah,
scene.
which is a fun little moment because fans of the original are like,
Oh,
"Oh, that's so cool," and then so for her to put it off, I like it.
I
I mean,
respect
that's
this.
a big one.
I
It's a
respect
big
that.
reason.
I understand why the movies did what they did because they tied up the black guy that lived in his head, and then becomes that from Abra. And so
Yeah,
Kev likes it mainly just because it merges the first book's ending, which should have been the actual ending of the movie, to this movie, like merges them together and gets, kind of fixes some of those, at least gets
the
that ending
mind
in.
meld. That yeah, which, I'm not heartless. I wouldn't have hated it if Danny survived in the movie. But yeah, for that very specific
Just
reason of it sort of
continuity, it kind of works.
reconciling those two things is like, oh, this is cool because everybody gets it's like the
Yeah.
ultimate, it's like Compromise the movie directed by Mike Flanagan.
When that
It's like,
scene was
okay,
happening, I've never read the book, but I felt like it was important more than just, oh, didgeridoo. It
I
was more
almost
important than just him giving like making up for his father's shortcomings. I'm like, I feel like this is something else, and I was right the way they do it. And right away too. Um, I've never read a Stephen King book, so we'd have to look into that. I'm a slow fucking reader
we're
too.
not going to be able to do one a week, I'll tell you that.
No.
We could start with 1408. We could get that done in a week.
No idea what that is. So
It's It's a short story. Oh, dude, you've never seen 1408? Okay.
I don't think so.
I'm making a list for us.
Kev just got to make a list. This was Kev's idea because he saw it on Netflix. Now I'm like, well, I got to go watch the first one now. Come on now. Did you like? So I figured it out after the fact. Obviously, Jack Nicholson does not make a return. We are pro
Still
recasting. Do you like that? That was his dad, right? The bartender. Do you like that it's a different actor?
Yes, I like all of the recast choices. I thought, to me, that was one of the best elements of the movie. And to the way I've heard Flanagan describe it in some behind the scenes stuff is that he wanted to recast the characters and not the actors, that it was more important that they were an accurate representation of those characters. But and forgive me, I can't remember her name. The woman who plays Wendy, her Danny scream is like a 1-for-1. It's like if you'd have told me that they ADR'd that in, that they're like, oh yeah, they just used Shelley Duvall's from the original, I would have believed you. So I thought the
Wendy?
kid they got, that's the mom. That's
Okay,
Danny's mom in the early scenes. So young Danny's mom, and Jack Torrance, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think the dad, the guy who plays Jack Torrance, I'm pretty sure that's the kid from E.T., but I might be getting my minor characters mixed up. But the kid from E.T. was in this movie, as was the his name was also Danny. The kid who, the original actor for Danny Torrance, is the side actor at the baseball game, the one who explains to you that, oh, it's like that kid can read the pitcher's mind. That was the OG Danny Torrance in there making a cameo. He's a science teacher or something.
Oh, that's kind of fun. That's a cool little callback.
I am Shelley Duvall. Did I say what? Did I get it wrong? I do that sometimes.
I think we said Wendy, didn't we?
Wendy is the character's name. I might be getting the actress's name wrong.
Okay,
I've done
got it. Yeah, I thought they did a good job of the recasting of what I knew. Like the kid looks similar, the mom looks similar, but they also are them. Like you can tell they are, like, they didn't just go for, oh, we need somebody that looks exactly like them type deal.
Yeah, and he talks about it. Flanagan talks about it as we've talked about it every time this happens, and I think our longtime viewers know we're pro recasting just about every time. And he said, no matter what I did, it was going to be controversial. Like, someone would have preferred me do it the other way. It was his take on it. But could you imagine if they had tried to de-age Jack Nicholson and have him do that? Like, ooh.
If you would have brought him back, you just have to leave him the age and go with it. Like, you're talking about de-aging somebody 40 years.
That could have worked too. If he starts Mrs. Massey, like he's also all bloated and like, you know,
there's an alternate version where he's just old and like he is just him, and you just kind of touch him up and he's decrepit and rotting, or however you want to go about it. I really like
his character in The Departed, you know?
Yeah. It took me a second to understand that scene, but once I did, I was like, oh, this is a really good fucking scene. Like, and then you've got the alcohol depiction between both of them. My God. Son, Danny Torrance has a fucking monster of a line about drinking. I rewatched it like 3 different times. What was it? It was, first a man takes a drink, then he takes another drink, and then the drink takes the man. I rewound and watched it like 3 times. Like, that's fucking unbelievable, that line. And it's fucking true.
It's good. And that scene with him and his dad, I believe, is the one that Flanagan showed to Stephen King to get his blessing. Because unlike its predecessor, this one has the Steve King stamp of approval. And then some. I've seen these two do interviews together where King is talking about how Mike Flanagan's one of the few horror writers that get it. And so he gets very high praise from the King man himself. So, and I believe it was, he showed him that particular scene to prove to Stephen King that he understood what the point of the story was and that he was the right guy for it. Yes. And that's a great point that Kang brings up. Yeah. There's a lot more about into like Jack's issues with his dad. There's just so much more, and it's hard to imagine, probably, when you're looking at a 2.5 hour movie. Like, how did they not fit all this stuff in? Because Kubrick didn't care about the book. He didn't want the book. I think he just wanted the name. And he's like, I'm just going to tell my own story. I don't really care about the Stephen King guy, whatever. This is my story now. I'm going to write it how I want.
Oh no, Kang. I don't know what show this is. That's not good. That's tough.
That's a Mike Flanagan joint, Midnight Mass.
Okay.
I have not watched it though.
Gotcha.
So
I saw a good quote on the difference between the miniseries is on Tubi.
Oh, you remember James? And I was just saying that I might revisit that.
Oh boy. I saw a really good quote on difference between movies and TV shows recently. Where, and I'm gonna break the exacts of this, but it was essentially the movies are the high points of somebody's life. You see the higher low points of somebody's life, and a TV show allows you to see the journey. And I'm was
that Ryan Coogler?
Maybe it was Coogler. I seen it. I saw it on Twitter, and I can't remember who said it. It very well could be.
I think that might have been him talking about his X-Files thing that's coming.
That's it. That's what it was. It was him talking about the X-Files. That's correct. That's what it was. Yes, it is. He was talking about learning how to do TV over movies, and he's like, the movies are the high and low points. He might have only said high points. I can't remember. But the TV show was doing a TV show was more about the journey. It was Coogler. You're right. That's exactly who it was. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I know that because I bookmarked that tweet as a potential topic for us to talk about later. So maybe a spoiler there. Maybe we'll talk about the next Ryan Coogler.
We're going to continue, Ken. We're going to continue down this rabbit hole we've opened up for me because I have not watched a lot of horror movies in very recent years. I used to watch a decent amount of them, but there's also a lot of old ones I haven't seen that Kev wants me to watch. And I very much enjoyed this. This movie's good. I was locked in. This movie's fucking good.
I think the more we get into this, James, I will also start to get a good feel for the ones that we like that we talk about, the ones that we don't like. I really think we can start to hone in and find some cool stuff for you to talk about because there are so many good movies over the last 50 years that we could touch on. We've never talked about. The Thing has come up. We're definitely going to talk about that at some point.
I know there's a Nosferatu fan in this chat. We should probably add that one to the list.
Oh God, yes, dude. Yeah. Yes.
I know Harles is there. I do agree with this take though, and we've talked about this a lot. There's just not a lot of original ideas anymore, which is why Sinners and Weapons were so good, as they were original ideas. Sometimes just let bygones be bygones. Let them enjoy it. Kang is a Nosferatu as well. So yeah, it's on the list. I do wish they would just, and we've talked about this plenty, like just leave stuff alone.
Well, what we're talking about today, I think, is a great example of when it is a good move, at least in my opinion, to revisit something. When there's something to fix, there's something to change about it. But if something was just really, really good and everyone enjoys it, what's the point of remaking it? Like this is a hollow argument coming from me because I never enjoyed this. I never watched this, so I shouldn't say that I enjoyed it or not. But I believe like Battlestar Galactica was one of those things where it got remade to improve upon, to make it better, and little things like that. Like I think if you missed the opportunity or the technology gets to a point where you could do things that you couldn't do the first time around, and that is a reason to say, okay, well, now we can really fulfill the vision, stuff like that. I think, do a remake, but I would like it more if people went back and found things that maybe didn't work. But they're like, I think that could work. Like how Malignant just redid Basket Case, that's not exactly the same, but it's kind of the same.
And it's a problem with it's the Warner Brothers is making a new Harry Potter series, not because a generation didn't get to grow up with it. They're making it because it's going to make them a shitload of money. Well, now it's probably fucking Netflix's money, which is tomorrow's topic that will come out tomorrow, which will probably get copyrighted striked, but who fucking knows at this point.
Yeah, we're here for it.
There may be a double dip tomorrow because I do believe the boys one's going to get unlocked tomorrow. So, I know, Harles. That's the Spoiler alert, me and Kev both think it's horrific. It's bad for the business.
Ooh, yeah.
Antitrust laws exist for a reason, folks. Any final thoughts, Kev? We've been doing this for an hour, and we're a little over an hour, and we were late. Unfortunately, we both have day jobs, which sucks.
I think we did cover a lot of it. One of the things I'll say, like, there's a lot of style choices about this movie that I really enjoy. I thought the camera work was phenomenal. Like the scenes in particular where Rose and Abra get connected. For instance, when Rose is floating and she's trying to isolate, to just listening. The sound design on that was great too, where it's like you just hear breathing, and the way she kind of floats into the room. Like they do a lot of cool transitions when Dan is about to take that drink and he decides not to, and then he kind of like slides into his wall before joining Abra in the back of that truck. I thought all of that stuff was incredibly well done. So
I think those
I
they
like
do a
this
really good job with those. Yeah.
Style and substance for me on this one. But no, I think that probably about wraps it. This is one of those where especially since we didn't have our usual prep time, and this has just been Jake, I feel like I could talk about this one for another hour and just be like, ooh, oh yeah, what about this? Ooh, oh yeah, what about that? But no, I thoroughly suggest rewatching the movie if it's been a while for you. I think you have about 20 days if you're on Netflix. It'll be gone from there. Maybe just buy it. Maybe go buy the director's cut. Okay, wait for it to find its way to Tubi, which I have just reinstalled. And I want to answer this question from chat from Kang here. Have you guys watched Milk and Cereal on YouTube? Short film? No. I did watch, what is that one that Jordan Peele and Sam Raimi just bought? Was it Portrait of God? I watched that one a few days ago, and that's got me excited to go look for some more YouTube short horror films.
You gotta be careful out there. Find the good ones. Watch out for the slop, which you can tell it real fucking quick.
No, James, AI is good. It's allowing people. How'd that guy say it? People who don't have the skill or the equipment.
It's allowing people to don't have the skill to compete's not the right word, right? That's not what he said. Essentially saying it's allowing people that don't have the skill to compete with the people that have skill is what it said.
Which is exactly what you want. You want to water it down. And it just, and what I think what I had said to James was, oh, that's great, right? Like here we are. You want to be a creative. So just have the AI do it. You don't have the skill to be or the
willpower to to figure out like how to do anything. Like we started this channel with I was using a computer that could barely work. Like it's fucking. We don't need to do this right now. It's so bad.
My friend made a hour 20-minute movie with his iPhone and a tripod. You know what I mean? Where there's a will, there's a way. And the whole thing about being creative is to have some creative solutions to your problems. So like,
it's about fucking being human, living.
How expensive is it?
Learn a craft.
Run a YouTube channel. Granted, we've been we've been running it on laptops that are about to explode, but that's because we choose to go live. You don't have to go live. You can everything you need to make a video as a human being on YouTube is in the phone that you probably currently already own. Why the fuck you need to just type in a prompt? Oh, but those poor McDonald's workers.
Oh yeah, they worked so hard getting the prompts right.
I had to type that same prompt in 3 different ways to get it to come out right.
One of the best animated movies of the year is fucking made in Blender. What the fuck is the name of it? It's the cat one where the world gets flooded. I cannot think. Oh my god, I gotta think this up.
I have to watch that. I think
it's so good. Let me find it. I have to get you the name of it. Flow. Yeah, it's Flow. Flow. It's so fucking good. It's on HBO, I believe. Yeah, Flow. It's an hour and 25 minutes. Oh, it came out in 2024. Sorry.
Okay.
Flow it's an independent animated film. They made it in Blender. It's so fucking good. And the guy was awesome on Twitter for a while before he said fuck Twitter. because he was explaining how he did shit. It was so good. I believe it. Yeah, I think you're right. Let's see.
We'll put that on the list too. Damn.
Flow's awesome. I agree. I'll never get over How to Train Your Dragon never winning an animated Oscar because of stupid fucking Toy Story. I think it might have finally got one in the last one. I can't remember exactly, but it kept getting fucked.
Which Toy Story was that? 4? At what point? I can't remember what point. How many Toy Stories are we at now? Do they have done 2 trilogies yet? I tapped out.
You know what? So here's
there
the
was
thing.
one of them that was really bad, and I said never.
I've
again.
never. I watched. Yeah, so it did win Best Animated Picture. That's good. I think it was 3. Yeah, it was. God.
Oh, okay.
I've never watched 4, and I kind of been like, the fucking trilogy was perfect. Why would you do this? However, I've heard the premise for 5, and it has a lot to do with the overuse of computers, like of screens and children. And I'm like, ooh, this might actually be kind of good. Like, I'm like, the premise is pretty fucking good. I have not seen 4.
That could be fun. I don't know. That's an interesting.
I like the premise.
I got a lot of thoughts about that, but I need to collect them.
Yeah. Yeah. So Flow won Best Animated Picture in 2025. It's only an hour and 25 minutes. Flow's a really easy watch. Ooh, it's pretty it's good. And it was made in Blender. It's really cool. It was literally made in a free software that I had on the shit computer. I've messed around it a little bit on the shit computer.
King says, too many people haven't read I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, and it shows.
You
James,
could have stopped this. I am not familiar, but I will just say you could have stopped this at too many people haven't read. You could have literally stopped it right there.
That is fair.
I have not. I don't actually know those, and I probably should. If I'm going to be
about
anti-AI, anti-screens,
but must scream.
As I'm anti. I say anti-screens as we're doing live shows right now, but we're better than that. We're not just watching slop, putting out slop.
No, we're going to be on Tubi.
Carl says you probably recommend it. We do need to start a list and keep it running.
Oh, you know what we also need to do? Well, what I need to do, I'm guilty of that. I should probably just get fucking back in Discord. You know, that's my that's my problem. I need
shout out Harl's like the top 1% viewer. I saw that the other day. We just need to start a horror section and be like, here's what we're going with.
There we go. And then I need to turn my notifications back on, and then we'll be set. All right, that's my New Year's resolution. All right. I will stop discarding Discord. All right, we'll get back in there because I do think there could be a lot of fun collaborating with you guys about what sort of stuff we should watch and or read, especially that we've kind of found a nice landing spot in this horror niche, because I think some of you know, like I have been kind of hinting at wanting to do more horror stuff for a while. We obviously did the Star Wars stuff for a really long time. That probably won't be coming back. I do not currently have Disney Plus. That's a discussion for another day. But
I don't think I do either.
Like I said, we could swim in these horror waters, James, for all of next year as much as we want, and still, you know, pop back out when it's time to talk about The Boys or Daredevil season 2. But I do think there's a ton of stuff. Horrible resolution to make, but looking forward to it.
Yeah.
They set the bar very, very low is what I've learned about New Year's resolutions. Okay. You know,
sweet.
I'd rather do that than say I'm going to go to the gym every day. Okay.
I have an hour drive on Friday. I have a lot of hours. I have 4-hour drive on Friday, but the first hour is by myself. So it might be an easy one to sneak in. Ooh. That might be a good one.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal that rec too because I love.
It might get discussed. So, thank you guys for joining us. We do got to get out of here. We could sit here and do this all night. Have a great fucking. If this is our last stream of 2025 live one, dude, yeah, I actually.
That's a good point. I'll wear myself out doing 3 to 4 days a week, but yeah. I we'll work our way up to that for sure.
I don't know if this will be the last live of 2025, but it's definitely the last Wednesday live. Thanks, Kang. Thanks, Harles. Appreciate you guys for being here. I will even shout out Derpy, who popped in for one comment. All you lingerers out there, we may have another live. It's for sure won't be a Wednesday live, just the way calendar fell with Christmas and New Year's. Kev, outside of here, you want to shout anything else out before we get to getting?
I will give a shout out to the boys over at Carnage Media. I actually had 2 videos get released over on that YouTube channel the last 2 days. We've got our hype video for our event coming up on the 20th, which was the voiceover. It will sound very familiar to a lot of you. I'll just say that. So that was a lot of fun to be a part of that process. And the most recent installment of Benchmark Pro Wrestling. It's a whopping Stephen King-esque 2 hours and 10 minutes long. It was a ton of fun to make, but no, other than that, just have those noties on over the holiday. We are, like James said, we're going to do some pre-record stuff. We're going to do our best to keep sending stuff out over the holidays. I will be away towards the very, very end of the year here in a couple of weeks, but then we'll be right back at it in the new year. So our schedule will be wonky. If you want to make sure you don't miss anything, probably notifications is the way to go. But no, I appreciate all of you hanging out with us. If we don't see you live again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, all that stuff.
Happy holidays, whatever it is you might be celebrating. It's cool with me, dog. And I hope you have some time with your friends or family, whoever your loved ones are. Okay. So I hope you have a great time over these holidays, and we'll be thinking about you. All right. We will miss the dweebs for the next 3 weeks, man. It could have been any other day. I can't wait for next year, James, when these holidays don't fall on Wednesdays. Dude, what happened? Why did it have to be Wednesdays?
They fell on Wednesdays.
Come on.
Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Kang, Harles, everybody in the chat, please like, subscribe. We're up to 191, on our way to 200. There will be some pre-recorded content coming out tomorrow, possibly 2, depending on how the 48-hour rule falls on YouTube. I think it's going to be 2 tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll be back next week. Outside chance there will be a live tomorrow. Me and Kev are got to discuss it still. But thank you guys for joining us. We're going to bounce out of here. We appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great Christmas, holidays, all that stuff. If we don't see you, until next time, folks.